जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरवरधारी जय गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रजेश नरंजना जय ब्रजेश नरंजना जय यशोदानंदना जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रजेश जय यमुना किनारे चारी जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी जय राधा श्री श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय। श्री श्री राधा बिहारी भगवान की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ जी बलदेव जी सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। गिरिराज महाराज की जय। गौर निताय भगवान जय। श्री बाल शील प्रभुपाद जय। ज्ञानतिपरन्तस्य ज्ञानतीर्थया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। चक्रन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं मायं ददाति स्वपदाम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च शिरोहं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथामृतं सजीवं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम् Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishakam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. So first we'll read from Srila Prabhupada Lila Amrita, and that's we'll start with chapter 7. Chapter 7. Wonderful. Okay. Srila Prabhupada Lila Amrita, chapter 7. Jhansi, the League of Devotees. I hope. Wanted candidates from any nationality to qualify themselves as real Brahmins for preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. For all practical purposes throughout the whole world, deserving candidates will be provided with the free boarding and lodging. Apply A.C. Bhaktivedanta founder Acharya and Secretary of the League of Devotees, Bharti Bhavan Pio, Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh, Abhay Chanande. This was an advertisement done by Srila Prabhupada to try to get some more devotees to preach Bhagavad Gita, the teaching. It was another 12-hour ride with dozens of stops, the trains rattling and clattering, and its rocking from side to side made writings difficult. But Abhay, crowded on the wooden bench with other third-class passengers, kept writing. So Srila Prabhupada was writing on the train while it was moving. Within the dinghy compartment, passengers eyed one another complacently, and soot and dust blew in the open windows as the train sped along. Soot is the black smoke coming from those coal burning. So they were coming inside and outside because the windows were open. Outside, past the monotonous embankment of loose stones, bright violet trumpet flowers bloomed on tall stalks in shallow trackside ditches. Water buffalo and other oxen grazed in the distance or sometimes pulled a plow before a solitary farmer. Abhay was going to Jhansi not for business but for preaching. 1 month before, in October 1952, when Abhay had visited Jhansi on business, Mr. Dubey, a customer and the owner of Jhansi Hospital, had invited him to lecture at the Gita Mandir. Many Jhansi people appreciated uh, things religious or humanitarian, whether from Vaishnavas, Theosophists, Mayavadis, politicians, or whatever. They regarded almost any path as dharma, as long as it showed some edifying piety or tended towards the public welfare. Mr. Dubey had read with interest several issues of Back to Godhead and had therefore requested Abhay to speak. Abhay had been eager and he had found keen interest amongst the audience of more than 100 people, many of them young medical students and graduates from the local Ayurvedic college. Abhay was 56 and his commanding presentation of Krishna consciousness had impressed the young, religious-minded people of Jhansi. 25-year-old Prabhakar Mishra, the principal of Vedanta Sanskrit College, head medical officer of the Jhansi Ayurvedic University, saw that Abhay was very forceful in his desire to spread Krishna consciousness. Dr. Mishra regarded him as a kind of guru, although dressed in white. Here is a humble person he thought a real sadhu. So we'll stop there. So this is from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita regarding Srila Prabhupada's life. So we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So unfortunately, the board is not here for the shlokas. So if you have a smartphone and you got that, please go to 4:21:11. So Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 11. And the title is Instructions by Maharaj Ritu. So please repeat after me. Maitreya Uvacha Ganga Yamunor Nadiyor Ganga Yamunor Nadiyor Antarakshatram Avasam San Arabdhan eva bubuje Bhogan punya jihasaya Maitreya uvacha Ganga Yamunor Nadiyor Antarakshatram Avasam arabdhan eva buje bhogan punya jihasaya. Maitreya uvacha Ganga yamunor nadyor antara kshetram avasan arabdhaneva bubuje bhogan punya jihasaya. Ganga yamunor nadyor antara kshetram avasan arabdhan eva bubuje bhogan punya jihasaya. Maitreya uvacha Ganga yamunayor nadyor antara kshetram avasan arabdhaneva bhuje bhogan punya jihasaya. Thank you. We'll do the word by word. Maitra uvacha. The great saint Maitreya said, Ganga, the river Ganges, Yamuna, of the river Yamuna, Nadayo, of the two rivers, Antara, between, Kshetram, the land, Avasan, living there, Arabdhan, destined, ever like, Ubuje, enjoyed, Bhogan, fortunes, Punya, pious, pious activities, Jihasya, for the purpose of diminishing. Doesn't matter, Acharya. Translation and peppered by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. The great saintly sage Maitreya told Vidura, my dear Vidura, King Prithu lived in the tract of land between the two great rivers, Ganges and Jamuna. Because he was very opulent, it appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune in order to diminish the results of his past pious activities. Please repeat. The great saintly sage Maitreya told Vidura, my dear Vidura, King Prithu lived in the tract of land between the two great rivers, Ganges and Jamuna. Because he was very opulent, it appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune in order to diminish the results of his the result of his past pious activities. Purport. The terms pious and impious are applicable only in reference to the activities of ordinary living being. But Maharaj Prithu was a directly empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, he was not subject to the reactions of pious or impious activities. As we have already explained in previously, when a living being is specifically empowered by the Supreme Lord to act for a particular purpose, he is called Shaktyavesh Avatar. Prithu Maharaj was not only a Shaktyavesh avatar, but also a great devotee. A devotee is not subjected to the reactions resulting from past deeds. In Brahma Samhita, it is said, "Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam." For devotees, the results of past pious and impious activities are nullified by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Arabdhan ever mean as if achieved by past deeds. But in the case of Prithu Maharaj, there was no question of reaction to past deeds, and thus the word ever is used here to indicate comparison to ordinary persons. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Avajananti ma mudha. This means that sometimes people misunderstand an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be an ordinary man. The Supreme Godhead, his incarnations or his devotees may pose themselves as ordinary men, but they are never to be considered as such. Nor should an ordinary man, not supported by authorized statements of the Shastras and Acharyas, be accepted as an incarnation or devotee. By evidence of Shastra, Sanatan Goswami detected Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be a direct incarnation of Krishna in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord Chaitanya never disclosed the fact, it is therefore generally recommended that Acharya or Guru should not be accepted as an ordinary man. Omagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmiltamyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I'll repeat the verse and then translation. Maitreya Uvacha Ganga Yamunor Nadyor Antra Kshetram Avasan Arabdhan Eva Bubuche Bhogan Punya Jihasaya. The great saintly sage Maitreya told Vidura, my dear Vidur, King Prithu lived in the tract of land between the two great rivers, Ganges and Jamuna. Because he was very opulent, it appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune in order to diminish the results of his past pious activities. So this title is Instructions by Maharaj Prithu. And in the translation, it's talking about saintly sages. India is a land of sages from time immemorial. It's very, these great sages have been there performing austerities and also distributing the knowledge of the Vedas and purifying the whole tract of land, India. There are many great sages who appeared there. Some of them we can recall, like Maitreya is a sage. Sukadeva Goswami is a great sage. And his dad, Vyasadeva, and author of all the Vedic literatures. Can you recall some other great sages? Yes, you just mentioned Sukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami, yes. And you mentioned somebody else? No. Okay. Who wrote Ramayana? Valmiki, although he was somebody else in the beginning, he was a dacoit, but later on, he was transformed into a great sage by the mercy of Narad Muni, a dacoit who used to kill people. And then by the association of pure devotees and the knowledge revealed by Narada is a great sage himself. So this decade, Ratnakar became Valmiki later on after doing tapasya, and then he wrote Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. So that's another sage. And what about modern day sages? Do we have sages now still present? Yes, they are sages. Yeah. Prabhupada is one of the greatest sages of this modern day world. Yes. Those sages in those days were basically preaching in India and staying in India, but Prabhupada went out of India to spread the message of Lord Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And because of that, look at this beautiful temple here. And we are so fortunate to be at this time in Kali Yuga. Disciples, we are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, grand disciples and great grand disciples. And the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are still present, who are continuing the whole process, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. So these are great sages. And of course, Srila Prabhupada's disciples are great sages, and their disciples, there are so many brahmacharis in ISKCON who are, totally dedicated to Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and dedicated to their gurus and spreading the message of Krishna. So these are modern day sages. And also in this translation, there are mention of two great rivers. And they are Ganges and Jamuna. Everyone knows how Ganges came to this planet. And it is coming from the causal ocean, right from the spiritual world. And it's here on this planet. When it was coming down, before coming down, she's refused to come. When she was asked to come to this planet to give liberation to, who were those people? Raghuvansh dynasty people, to give them liberation. But Ganga said, no, I won't come because the planet is full of sinful people. They will come and take bath in me, leave all the sins there. And then she was told that not only sinful people will take bath in the Ganges, but lots of sages, lots of sadhus will also take bath. So it will nullify that. She agreed to come. So she's here already, and all the devotees, all the people who understand the importance of Ganga River, they take part in that. And the other one is Yamuna. So Ganga came from the feet of the Lord, but Yamuna, Krishna himself was taking bath in Yamuna. So Yamuna, it's mentioned some different places. Yamuna is more powerful than even Ganga, Yamuna River, because Krishna was there himself taking bath with all with Radharani and all the gopis. So more powerful, more potent. So these two great rivers are there, and there are some other holy rivers in India too. When we chant, when in the cup of water, the Achman cup, we say Ganga Che Yamuna Chaiva Godavari. We invite all these rivers to reside in that, so we can purify that. So powerful mantra. Okay, what else is there? Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is an incarnation of Krishna. And he is Shaktya Vesh avatar. There are different types of avatars. And they are divided into 6 categories. One is known as Purusha avatar. Purusha avatar. And they constitute all the Vishnu forms. The Mahavishnu, the Shirodakshai Vishnu, and Garbhodakshai Vishnu. These are Purusha avatars. Then number 2 is Leela avatars. Leela avatars are just like Krishna himself, Lord Ram. Examples are such. And then there are Guna avatars. Guna means quality. 3 gunas. Guna avatar. So Lord Brahma is one Guna avatar. Lord Shiva is another one. Vishnu will not be categorized in this Guna avatar, Lord Vishnu. And there are Manvantara avatars. And one of them is Yagna. And there are several mentioned. I just giving one example. And then after that is Yuga avatar. Every yuga there are some avatars coming, like Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kalaki, and there are so many yuga avatars. And then finally we have Shaktya Vesh avatar. The Prithu Maharaj is one of them. Vedavyas, who wrote the Vedic literature, is one of them. The 4 Kumaras, and so on. These are Shaktya Vesh avatars. So different categories of avatar. So this is a conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. So King Prithu ruled the entire planet when he was here. And his main, like his city, whatever you can call it, was between the tract of land Jamuna and Ganga. And of course, he was very opulent, very opulent. And it says here, Srila Prabhupada writes that the terms pious and impious. Pious in Hindi means punne, and impious means pap. So does it apply to Prithu Maharaj? Srila Prabhupada clarifies, no, it doesn't apply to him. It says in the translation, it appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune in order to diminish the results of his pious and impious activities. Diminish the results. But it doesn't actually apply. It appeared only. So pious and impious applies to ordinary souls like us. Okay. So when we do something good, we get piety, and when we do something wrong, which is against dharma, then we accrue impiety, means pap. And that is applicable to us. So when do we do this impious activities? The general public. When they do karma, any kind of karma, it can be pious or impious, that's karma. And sorry, karma, I'm not very clear, if you can correct me. Karma means punya activity, right? Something good you are doing, like building schools, hospitals, ashrams, helping general public, and for that you get punya. And vikarma is impious activities. Vikarma means
that will give you pop, impiety, something wrong you are doing against the scriptural injunctions, against dharma. So, like we are following the four regulative principles. If you do one of those, we accruing vikarma, pap. And there's another karma. I'm talking about these three types of karma, vikarma, and the other one is akarma. Akarma means bhakti. Anything connected to the Lord, any activities that you, even sweeping the temple or your own house, cleaning your, worshipping deities, cooking for Krishna, and dressing and preaching, distributing books, any of those are all akarma. So for that, you don't even get piety or piety and impiety. You just get bhakti. Bhakti is above pap and punya. You know this. Bhakti is above pap and punya. For punya, for piety, when you die, you will go to heavenly planets, and you enjoy your piety there, the credit you have. Once that's finished, you have to come back to this planet. There is a verse about that. I don't know. Just don't remember. So that's punya activities. And of course, for pap, you go down to suffer. For punya, you go to heavenly planets to enjoy. But what will you enjoy there? I still enjoy material things. Right? So once that's finished, you come down to this planet and take birth again. But akarma is devotional service, devotional activities, all related to Krishna. Shaktiavesh avatar, even Srila Prabhupada is sometimes is also given this designation as he is a Shaktiavesh avatar, because whatever he did is just incredible. No one has done that. I was watching one of the YouTubes about Srila Prabhupada, and one of those journalists mentioned that the person who has dedicated his life in spreading Sanatana Dharma is Srila Prabhupada throughout the world. Nobody can be compared to him. No one else. No other sadhus and organizations, Sanatana Dharma in India has done what Srila Prabhupada has done. Incomparable. And that preaching is still going on, preaching of Sanatana Dharma. So Srila Prabhupada is right on top. So he's also considered a Shaktivesh avatar. He's empowered. So who are those people? When a living being is specifically empowered by the Lord to act for a particular purpose. So Srila Prabhupada came for a particular purpose, and he carried out his responsibilities very diligently, and he spread this Krishna consciousness movement, started it and spread it. There is a mention of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu towards the end of the purport. Sanatana Goswami detected, by the evidence of Shastra, Sanatana Goswami detected that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be a direct incarnation of Lord Krishna. So there has been so many incarnations mentioned in our scriptures, in the Vedas. And how do you know that they are genuine? Because nowadays there are more incarnations coming in India. People, consider them as incarnation of God or Lord Vishnu. So Prabhupada has clarified this issue. He's really, really very, um, he has clarified this issue of incarnations in India. So many people are considered incarnations. So he said how to judge them, or how to, what is the evidence, So he mentioned that first thing is it should be mentioned in the scriptures. Any incarnations that you think of should be mentioned in our scriptures. And number two, the second evidence is there should have some bodily marks. Like for example, Krishna's lotus feet, you have so many so many marks and symptoms there. Can you remember some of the lotus flower, club, and so on? There's umbrella, conch shell, and so on. So if that person has some of those, then but not tattoo one, the real ones. Maybe nowadays they can do it. Yeah, they can do anything to become incarnation. So these are, and also on their palms too. It's in the scriptures. So these are some of the marks. And the third one is it should be, the acharyas also confirm this. They will say, mention that these are incarnations, and that should be accepted as well. So these three evidences. If they are not mentioned in scriptures, they don't have these features, and no acharya mentioned about this incarnation, so-called incarnation. So don't accept them as incarnation. And also it is mentioned here that even when the Lord comes, some of the people who were present during the Lord's time, they considered the Lord as an ordinary person. Even when Lord Krishna came, there were so many people, the Kauravas. They didn't know that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They considered him as very powerful somehow, or mystical. That's all, and he's just an ordinary being, they thought. So Krishna says these people are mudas, avajananti mam mudha. Bhagavad Gita 9:11. So they just consider him like that. And of course, there are many people. All these people still consider Krishna and Lord Ram and other incarnations as either they were not there or they are just myth. They didn't exist, or they are not Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the scriptures, like Ravana was there, Hans is there, and all the Dhritarashtra and Kauravas, and there are many, many people who didn't consider the Lord to be supreme. And currently, there are organizations, so-called spiritual organizations like Arya Samaj. They believe in, they don't believe in worship of deities. They believe in all pervasive, what is the word? All pervasive. Yeah. God is everywhere, and he's in everything. So they believe in that. So there's no need for temple. There's no need for deities. So they still believe in that, and they follow that. The Mayavadis also, they are kind of Mayavadis. Arya Samaj. And then there is Sri Ram Krishna Mission. I remember when I was in Fiji, one of the sannyasis of Ram Krishna Mission came to our school, and he brought so many literatures. They believe everyone is God. All on Krishna, Ram, all the demigods, the Durga, Maya, and Lord Shiva, and everyone is God. That's how they believe. And there are some current very impressive, what can we say, gurus like Sadhguru. Have you heard of him? Sadhguru. But he doesn't mention anything about God or scriptures. Never. Just giving it mental stuff. Nothing related to. He even uh, said few things which were clarified by Amoghlila Prabhu. So that's Sadhguru, and there is another Guru Maharaj. So there are so many of them, but some of them don't refer anything to scriptures and the incarnations because they don't believe in that. But they have their own philosophies, and many people follow them. It appeals to them. So what's going on? Okay. It's mentioned there in the last sentence. It is therefore generally recommended that acharya or guru should not be accepted as an ordinary person, ordinary man. Is there one of the offenses too? You consider, yeah, a guru to be an ordinary person. One of the offenses, 10 offenses. So why is that? Because they are not ordinary person, because they are carrying the supreme personality of Godhead in their hearts. They are pure devotees of the Lord, and they are also there to liberate other ordinary people. They are so powerful. All these gurus, all these sages are very powerful. They are pure devotees of the Lord, and their mission is to help us, ordinary conditioned souls, to understand and come to this devotional service and make our life successful. Sanatan Goswami is one of the Shad Goswamis. Who are the 6 Goswamis? Can you remember the names? Okay, Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Gopal Bhatt Goswami. They are direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And these, some of them are very what is the word? Aristocratic. Yes. Came Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami were brothers. You know? Yeah. They came from very rich families, and they're working as ministers in the Muslim government of Bengal. There are lots of gold coins. At that time, money was like that. No notes, paper money. But they gave up everything and became Goswamis. And Goswami means master of senses. Yes. And the opposites are called Godas, servant of the senses. The majority of the people are, even we are servant of the senses to some extent. We are still in the process. Oh no, we are not Goswamis, definitely. We are in the process to become one of them. So, yeah, once you become servant of the senses, you go really down. So we are taught in only, I think in Sanatan Dharma it is taught that you should control your senses. Others I haven't heard about. Eat and drink and be happy, and there are so many things. Senses can degrade you. So we are taught in Krishna consciousness to purify our senses by engaging them in Krishna's service, serving the Vaishnavas, serving Guru, and serving the Lord. And then how this is how it is going to purify. That's the process. Otherwise, how can we purify our senses? So we should do as much as we can. So I would like to stop there. And you can do you have any comments on this? I'll read the translation and you can add anything else to this. The great saintly sage Maitreya told Vidura, my dear Vidura, King Prithu lived in the tract of land between the two great rivers, Ganges and Jamuna. Because he was very opulent, it appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune. In order to diminish the results of his past pious activities. Any comments, any questions? Okay, thank you. Yeah, Charya. Samasta Shastra. It is. Mm. It is. I think the clarification is there that um, not they are not supreme personality of Godhead, but they should be considered. What is the word there? Yeah, just like supreme personality, we should treat them, respect them, because they are so close to Krishna, you know, and that's why we should consider them, because they can, liberate anybody who takes shelter of their lotus feet and follow their instructions. You can add there. My question was, what makes them so special? Mm. Yeah. They have realized, they understand, they have Paramatma, and they they follow this devotional path, and they are pure. But most of us, although we know that we have Paramatma, we are uh, we Jivatma is also there, but we haven't purified our senses, we haven't been following this bhakti process nicely, probably. That's why we still down there. But these people have elevated themselves by following their guru's instructions and following the bhakti marg really well. There are so many people, they all don't sit on the Vyasasana like Prabhupada is sitting there. No, because he is one of those who has really imbibed the instruction of his spiritual master and really pure devotee. So, everybody can't become pure devotee, although they have Paramatma in their hearts. I think. Your comments, please. I'm trying to. Yeah, that's true. We all have Paramatma in our heart, but we are still struggling. And yeah, thank you. All right. Namo Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anand Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.